Hunter.
And we're back. Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
We're getting close to our rendezvous point with the Yukon submarines. Here, we'll separate from our allies we met along the way and continue on.
Yeah, no problem. We'll just let them fend for themselves on their way out of Odessa. It's not like we're better equipped.
The Odessa defense line has been breached in several areas, and I've been informed that enemy troops are in pursuit. We'll see if we can make it to the rendezvous point first, or if the enemy beats us to it.
I'm not really sure it counts, since they don't know where it is. But thanks.
We will watch our backs carefully while we proceed. Should the pursuing enemy troops come too close, we'll hold them back and buy time for our allies to flee to safety. We'll head over to the rendezvous point afterward.
Okay, so again, we are letting them just...
We will never abandon our allies under any circumstances. Over.
Except that's just what we're required to do for the mission eventually. Yep, it's a nighttime mission, and there's also rain, which means sonars are basically useless as well. This means that you pretty much have to use your thermal sensors and night scopes. This would be a problem were it not for one tiny little thing that I'll talk about in a minute. Yes, these Magella attack tanks. If only they were as powerful as they are when you use the support attack. Oh god, not again. More of these stupid things? Oh, there are also tanks. Great, that makes bazookas more annoying to use. And most of the enemies are mobile suits, GM ground-type models. Mostly machine gun equipped as well, so... if you're fighting them from the front, as long as you stay away from them, you're good. Okay, so I fiddle around in here for a bit, but you'll see the really important part of this mission coming up right about now. Not quite. Yep, we finally got the Dom. Not entirely sure where we got these 3 Doms here in Odessa. I'm going to just conveniently ignore that the only 3 that we really knew of at this point were the ones Amuro kind of sauteed earlier. But anyway, I kind of have a couple of different ideas here. I do eventually decide to go with Manning as one of the characters because, well, I'd never actually used him in any of the playthroughs that I can remember, so I figured, hey, let's try something a little different. I mean, this is a Let's Play. Let's see kind of how it plays out, I guess. So, but this fiddling around in Renshift's setup is kind of pointless because I end up not using Renshift. Anyway, I kind of had 2 different ideas here. I was going to go at first for kind of a fast attacking force, but then I remembered when it comes to nighttime, unless you're using something like the Dom, fast attacking isn't usually the best option. It's better to just kind of take it slow and wait for the enemy to a point. Try to take advantage of the range that you have. So I decided instead I'm going to use 2 snipers to back up the Dom. And the important thing, for snipers, you desperately want to get a hold of the Reloader 1 part here, or the higher level ones. Basically, the sniper rifle doesn't really benefit that I know of from bullets or magazines, so Reloader is far more valuable. I think I might be coming down with a cold. I apologize for that. And our other sniper. And I do swap around his equipment too a little bit because, well, he needs a night scope and he's got a level 2 version, so I definitely want that. Of course, in the long run, it doesn't matter what I pick for rower, since I don't actually directly control him this run through, but still, it's nice to plan, I guess. So, I'm not 100% sure if you've all heard the news recently in terms of... well, Bandai has decided they are going to be releasing a number of Gundam games this year, with it being the 35th anniversary of the franchise. It's only reasonable that they decide to actually release some, you know, some worthwhile games. So we have Gundam Missing Link coming, which is going to be kind of the next Gundam 0081 style thing. I believe it's from most of the same team, but it also has it has a Gundam battle operation feel to it, which I don't really like that much, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, I've played worse Gundam games, like Crossfire, or Target Insight for the Japanese version. And Journey to Jaburo. That game was limited, let's say. But there's also another thing coming out called Gundam Side Stories, which is actually a collection which includes Missing Link, I think. Which means, I don't know, which I think means that that's really what they're selling, so whatever. And it features remakes, or Missing Link system-based themed missions. That was a very odd way to put it, but what I'm saying is it will have missions using the Missing Link engine. Oh.
All units, watch for enemies.
You're not getting away. All units, don't allow a single soldier to escape. If you do, that enemy may come back someday and take you out. Keep that in mind and destroy them all! Huh? Yes, they're the ones. I fought them in the Gobi. Stubborn creeps. I'll put an end to this. It's payback time!
They've caught up to us. All units, protect our allies. Secure a path to retreat.
This feeling, I don't like it. Get out! Stop tormenting me!
Again, the sound quality on the voice recording in this game is questionable. As you can see, generally speaking, the Dom is a relatively quick-moving unit, so I take advantage of that as much as I possibly can here. Which means I reach the other side of the stage before my allies get anywhere near it. Running at full speed, they can't even get close to matching the Dom's movement. In fact, I believe the Dom, the Hover-type Federation suits, and the Gundam and Sharzaku. I think that might be the order of the fastest suits in the game, with the Dom and the Hover-type mobile suits being kind of on par with each other.
Enemy located.
Anyway, back to what I was talking about a moment ago. Missing Link will feature stages, or a disc will be included that features stages in the Missing Link engine related to 5 classic games from Gundam's history. Starting way back in the late 1990s with Side Story Blue Destiny. So far we've only seen stuff from the second game of the Blue Destiny trilogy, but I'm pretty sure they'll include all of it. And I'm pretty sure I saw the Blue Destiny Unit 3 in the trailer for Missing Link, so... It's kind of a blink and you miss it type of thing, though, so... Yeah. And I can't even be completely sure. Ah, there, I just took out Agar. How easy was that this time? I could just flank all the way around him and shoot him in the back. It was so simple. Don't worry, we haven't seen the last of him either. Now, here I'm trying to use the spray beam, which, when it works, is an extraordinarily powerful tool, but, it's very finicky. So, you'll see what I mean right here. Yeah, I kind of deserve that to a point. in the middle of battle, a moment's hesitation, and you're done for. So, the snipers basically take the rest of the job here. Man, those rifles cannot hit for crap from the front. They are 120mm, which just aren't as good as the 90mm. You'll get to see how broken those are in a few stages later. At least in the next stage. Anyway, the other games include Rise from the Ashes, which was the Dreamcast game that was actually the first Gundam game to come out in the States. Gundam Thoroughbred, which is actually just the Gundam Thoroughbred story from Encounters in Space, or the novelization. That's the story of the Gundam 04 and 05, and the Thoroughbred Thoroughbred Pegasus class carrier that were instrumental in the final days of the war as escorts for the peace envoy. The fourth one is Lost War Chronicles, which the main story of that was related to a Gundam ground-type pilot who was even more of a pansy than Shiro, if you can believe it. Okay, he's more of a bleeding heart than Shiro, I guess would be the term, but he was skilled, just, you know.
Enemy located.
And last but most certainly not least, this game.
Enemy retreat confirmed. We won!
Yep. Zeonic Front is joining the 4 other games as a game that will finally be receiving remake stages for this collection.
We succeeded in shaking off the pursuing enemy. Our next step was to hurry to our rendezvous point, and so we parted ways with our allied troops. I'm afraid they'll have to fight even tougher battles from now on, and so will we.
Yep. Many of my complaints about not being able to react to enemies or snipe or anything, pretty much taken care of if we're actually doing an action stage. Now I'm curious as to what I'll get to do in that game.
Odessa was still reeling from the loss of their communication system. We escaped Odessa and returned safely to California base.
That reminds me.
Around the time of our return, Captain Shar's Mad Angler Squadron was in pursuit of the Trojan Horse.
Didn't the Blue Destiny story take place at California base at one
Thanks
point?
to Captain Shar, who had observed the enemy ship reaching its headquarters, we finally determined the exact location of Jaburo.
I've heard that name pronounced like 4 or 5 different ways.
November 30th. Preparations were underway to assemble all our available units and take over Jaburo.
I usually pronounce it Jaburo. English dub of the movie trilogy.
Thanks to the report from the Mad Angler Squadron, we've determined the exact location of the enemy's general headquarters, Jaburo.
I think my commander already filled me in on that, but thank you for clarifying.
We'll gather all of our battle strength to attack and secure the base.
What, no mention of the brave spy who risked and lost her life
Your
to give us
mission
that
is simple.
information?
Descend to your designated location and bring your area under control. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out for us in the long run.
If we succeed, all the difficulties we now face will be stamped out, and there will be hope for our future.
We are so boned.
2 new members have been transferred here to join us for this mission. I've taken the liberty of assigning them to your unit.
That was a really sarcastic way of saying that. You know that, right?
Get the details from your lieutenant commander.
Will do. Next time, we're attacking Jaburo.